We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to NewsLine. It's Wednesday, October 9th. I'm Savannah Hegerhorst.
And I'm Joseph Carson. We're coming to you live today from the Wilkinson Student Center on BYU's campus, where BYU is holding their annual major fair.
And as you can tell, there are hundreds of booths helping out thousands of BYU students. With us, we have McKay Yowsi. McKay, what is your role here?
I'm the Vice President of the BYU Facility and Property Management Student Association, and we have a booth over here at the major fair.
Awesome. Cool.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the purpose of this activity?
Yeah, we're trying to expose our major to students at school, trying to find something that they can enjoy and be employed after school.
Awesome. And for students who can't make it to this event, where can they find this information?
They can find information at cfm.byu.edu.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
McKay.
you so much.
A man is behind bars this morning after being arrested in connection to a deadly shooting in Washington County. The 51-year-old man, Jason Howard Klinger, was arrested for murder after admitting to shooting a man. On Tuesday, police received a call reporting suspicious activity in the town of Apple Valley. When police arrived, they found the body of a 50-year-old man who died from gunshot wounds. Police then interviewed Klinger and arrested him.
The Provo City Council voted to crack down on rentals with too many people in their council meeting on Tuesday. The council agreed to amend the Provo City Code and declare over-occupancy in rentals as a nuisance. The council says this will be another tool designed primarily to be used against repeat offending landlords that assume the typical charges for over-occupancy as the cost of doing business.
Alpine School District settled on locations for 2 new elementary schools. It was a decision long anticipated. Andrea, how long have people been waiting for these schools?
Well, Savannah, it's been a while. Taxpayers were promised new schools 3 years ago. The Alpine School Board met last night to talk about the $387 million bond from 2016. The bond is estimated to be $58 million short, and that has become a hot topic among the Alpine School District community. Many parents and students attended the meeting to show support for the new schools. Board members talked about overcrowding in the area and decided to build 2 new schools in Eagle Mountain and Vineyard.
I mean, we were overcrowded in 2013, so we've been dealing with a lot of students in our school for a long time. So just so excited, getting kind of emotional just thinking that finally, we have a school coming.
The motion was approved with a majority vote of 6-1. Board member Julie King disagreed with the motion. She believes Saratoga Springs needs a new school to keep up with the growth on the other side of the lake. We can expect these changes starting in 2020. Back to you.
Andrea.
The Utah Attorney General's office has charged an Arizona lawmaker with 11 felonies linked to adoption fraud. The AG says Paul D. Peterson, an adoption attorney, ran an illegal scheme with pregnant women out of the Marshall Islands. Peterson allegedly brought more than 40 pregnant Marshallese women to Utah over the past 3 years to give their babies up for adoption. Utah officials charged the attorney with unlawful activity, human smuggling, communication fraud, and sale of a child.
Overall crime rates have lowered this last year in Utah, but sexual assault has increased for the 5th year in a row. The Utah Bureau of Criminal Identification published the annual crime index for 2018. Police agencies reported more than 80,000 crimes last year. That's a 12% decrease. But sexual assault rose by almost 5%, and hate crimes saw a 50% increase as well.
Police in Layton are investigating an officer-involved shooting in a mall parking lot. Yesterday afternoon around 12:30 p.m., U.S. Marshals were attempting to apprehend a fugitive when he ran off and an officer fired his weapon at him. The suspect was hit and transported to the hospital. No officers were shot. The Layton Police Department was not involved in the shooting, but were assisting the marshals with the investigation and processing the scene.
School officials in Logan, Utah are offering counseling to students after a teenager brought a gun to school. The 16-year-old teenager was arrested Monday at Fast Forward Charter High School after other students spotted the gun in the student's possession and informed the principal. The school was placed in lockdown and the Logan police were called to detain the student.
A local pumpkin patch becomes a thank you patch for an entire day.
Julie Garrick went to the pumpkin patch in Springville. Julie, can you tell us what a thank you patch is?
The owners of Jakers Jack-O-Lanterns wanted to do something special to thank the men and women who serve and keep us safe. The Cuffs and Hoses event was held yesterday. The event honored military, police, firefighters, first responders, and their families. Jakers Pumpkin Patch has been around for 12 years. For the past 4 years, the proceeds from the pumpkin sales on this day have been donated to the Honoring Heroes Foundation.
We just are trying to kind of promote them and show that we're grateful for them and let kids get excited about it and see their vehicles and stuff.
All service members and their families got to attend the event for free. SWAT cars, police vehicles, and fire trucks were on display. The event also had police dog demonstrations and a flag-raising ceremony. Last year, Jakers raised around $600, but this year they expect to triple that amount. Back to you.
Thanks. College students are hungry, and at Utah Valley University is giving scholarships to students for food aid. A student of food insecurity shows that up to 10% of UVU students have gone a day or longer without food. The study was done in the spring of 2018, and nearly 1,000 students participated. The new emergency scholarship fund will help qualifying students in need of food and housing expenses.
An exterior rendering has been released showing the planned design of the Layton, Utah temple for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The release of the rendering comes as project leaders are preparing to file additional public documents relating to plans for the temple's design. A groundbreaking date has not been set yet. It will be built at the corner of Oak Hills Drive and Rosewood Lane. Plans call for a 3-story temple of more than 87,000 square feet.
High school bands competed at Lavelle Edwards Stadium last night for critiques and awards.
Ashley Ward went to the stadium and saw who was there and what all the excitement was about. Ashley, tell us about the competition.
22 high schools from all across the state competed in the Rocky Mountain Invitational Marching Band competition. Students were anxious to get on the field to perform what they've been practicing for months. Parents and students in the stands were surprised to see some high schools play different songs like Heartless by Kanye West. Joseph Kendall from Farmington High School shares what his band hopes to accomplish.
We're really hoping to get first. We've been working really hard. We got first last week, so we're hoping to continue that. The drum line and the percussion is hoping to get the percussion caption.
Parents and fans went wild as their children marched onto the field. Parents from Sky Ridge High School say that their children are completely exhausted, but the reward is their developed talents. The results were a nail-biter. American Fork placed first, Green Canyon second, and Sky Ridge third. Reporting for NewsLine, I'm Ashley Ward.
Thanks, Ashley. The aftermath of Trump taking out the U.S. troops from northern Syria. Find out the reason behind the major decision.
Understand because of the campfire, and we did lose a home there.
Power outage and an extreme risk for fire is causing millions of people to evacuate. Find out what state could be out of power for almost a week.
Former co-host Matt Lauer is speaking out about his rape accusations. Find out what he's saying and how his former colleagues are reacting.
Hard freeze warning, gusty winds, and temperatures below freezing heading our way. My full weather report next.
felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Lauer, sexual assault allegations have surfaced in wake of Ronan Farrow's upcoming book, Catch and Kill. Farrow, who helped uncover the Harvey Weinstein allegations, says his new book will expose dozens of men in power. In the book, Farrow says Matt Lauer raped an NBC colleague during the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics. Now, earlier this morning, Matt Lauer penned an open letter responding to Farrow's accusation, and Variety posted this article about his denial. It's got 47 retweets and 94 likes. In the letter, Lauer says that the affair was consensual. He says, for 2 years, the woman with whom I had extramarital relationships have abandoned shared responsibility and instead shielded themselves from blame against false allegations. I will no longer provide them the shelter of my silence. And Twitter users have a lot to say about this response, and most of them do not believe Lauer. T writes, I had to stop reading the Matt Lauer letter because I threw up in my mouth. Matt Lauer is the personification of garbage. And today's show hosts Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb spoke out about the new allegations surrounding their former colleague.
I feel like we owe it to our viewers to pause for a moment. You know, this is shocking and appalling.
NBC fired Lauer in 2017, just hours after the first rape allegation. Some viewers think that this response is insincere and that NBC actually helped cover up Lauer's behavior. This user wrote, Matt Lauer is a monster, and it's impossible NBC management did not know about this. Round them all up. Others think that the outrage targeting Lauer is ridiculous. Christie says, Matt Lauer gets fired for one complaint over a 20-year span. Isn't he innocent until proven guilty? And so far, there's no charges against Lauer, and the book will come out next week.
Turkey launches a military offensive into northeast Syria just days after President Trump's decision to remove U.S. troops from the area. Turkey appears ready to drive out Kurdish forces, who they believe to be terrorists. That's because of their ties to Kurdish militants waging an insurgency inside Turkey. The Kurds, who have long been U.S. allies in the war against ISIS, have called for a general mobilization to defend the region.
The White House and Democrats are clashing over rules of impeachment. Yesterday, the White House labeled the investigation illegitimate based on its own reading of the Constitution's vague language. In an 8-page letter, White House counsel Pat Cipollone pointed to Speaker Nancy Pelosi's failure to call for an official vote to proceed with the inquiry as grounds to claim the process a farce.
Get the facts and put all the facts out, not only in front of the House, potentially in the Senate, but we don't know that yet, but certainly in front of the American people.
Democrats say that if the White House does not provide the information, they could write an article of impeachment on obstruction of justice. It is unclear if Democrats would wade into a lengthy legal fight with the administration over documents.
Nearly 1 million people are without power right now after the National Weather Service issued a red flag warning for extreme fire conditions.
I mean, it is an inconvenience. I understand because of the campfire, and we did lose a home there. So I understand the precautions.
The mayor of San Jose says the outages could last as long as a week. The Pacific Gas and Electric Power shutoff announcement comes on the 2-year anniversary of the devastating North Bay firestorm. Fire agencies throughout the region, including the Santa Rosa Fire Department, have increased their staff.
With fall's uncertain temperatures, keeping the temperature of our house comfortable can take some work.
NewsLine reporter Taylor Hansen is in the studio to tell us what we can do during this time of year.
That's right. If you're like me, you've probably seen this tweet floating around social media. It says, "Welcome to Utah. Winter is at 6 a.m., spring starts at 10 a.m., summer is at 2 p.m., and fall starts around 4:30-ish. Dress accordingly." I don't think this could be any more accurate. I spoke with an HVAC specialist about what we can do to keep our furnaces and air conditioning systems running well during the changing seasons. With the cold Utah weather approaching, the last thing anyone wants is to feel uncomfortable in their own home. To prevent a broken HVAC system, specialist Adam Mose says an annual inspection is highly recommended.
If your furnace is very old, might be a good time to start thinking about replacing it, so that way you could save money in the long run because it's much more energy efficiency for the heating or for the gas and also electricity.
A big concern in Utah is the difference in temperature throughout the day, with currently more than a 30-degree difference between our highs and lows. While you might be tempted to adjust your thermostat with the changing weather, it isn't always a good idea.
Because if the system works consistently, it's going to give you a much better efficiency, and it's not going to kill the system because it's trying to get to that temperature.
To conserve energy and money this time of year, it's best to open windows and turn off your system to keep your home cool, or use sweaters and blankets to stay warm.
Depending on what time of the year, like right now, and what the day is like, it might be better just to keep it on the heating, or it might be just better to keep it on the cooling, depending on what you like it in the house and what the outdoor temperatures are.
But overall, the biggest worry should be
filters, filters, filters.
To keep your furnace or air conditioning systems from giving out when you need them the most, changing your filter is necessary. Some filters can be replaced from 6 months to a year, but most need to be changed once a month.
As far as other tips go, the filters and the vents are one of the biggest things to make sure. And like I said, if the system is old enough to have a pilot light, it's probably a good time to think about replacing the system.
Temperatures are expected to continue to drop, so be prepared to grab your favorite blanket and crank on your furnace. Reporting for Newsline, I'm Taylor Hansen.
Thanks, Taylor. The Wall on BYU campus is hosting their Battle of the Bands this week.
Chris Jacobs went to check out the event and even met some of the bands. Chris, tell us about it.
It was a fun night. I even got to meet one of the bands, get to know them pretty well. Take a listen.
Provo is one of the best cities for starting musicians in the country. One week it's velour, another week it's a talent show. This week it's the Battle of the Bands at the Wall.
Tonight. 1, 2, 3, Relic Quarry!
A startup band themselves, Relic Quarry and other bands like them hit the local scene to prove their skill and passion. Alex Martin is the lead guitarist, a vocalist, and a founder of the band Relic Quarry.
So I'll note this is an 11 string right now because I actually snapped this one during the show.
He started in music years ago, but got serious in 2015.
I recorded some solo stuff in my grandpa's grain silo on his farm, and that kind of stayed as a solo project, got the name Relic Quarry sometime around then.
Then he found some friends, and the rest is history. The music is an emotional process for them that helps them connect with the community.
I don't know, we're all human, we all have these feelings and things, so like it's cool to be able to connect to people through lyrics.
And the impact a local band can have on a community is huge, and they think that's one of the best parts about Provo.
It's music from your town, from your college years, in your college town.
Bands just like this are flooding the Wall in order to win the chance for a professional recording.
And you can hear a lot better than that if you come to the Wall to watch the Battle of the Bands. They're going all week, different bands every night. And me, I'm just going to keep practicing.
They are the next big thing, and you want to be able to say, hey, I knew them when, I got to see them when. You don't want to lose those bragging rights because they'll last forever.
If you want to see any of the bands or vote for them, they will be performing every night at 7 p.m. and the finals are this Friday. Back to you.
Temperatures will continue to drop drastically throughout the day. Hard freeze warning remains in effect from 8 p.m. this evening to 10 a.m. Friday. Sub-zero temperatures as low as 17 degrees expected in Salt Lake, Tooele Valley, and northern Wasatch Front. And as we take our look at our radar today, not a whole lot happening right now. We're still going to be seeing a lot of sunshine throughout the rest of the day. Things will change, though, as we take our look at our colorful map. See these brown areas right here? These are the areas that will be under high wind warning. These areas will be expecting gusts from 20 to 50 miles per hour, so please be careful out there. This will remain from 11 until midnight tonight. The purple areas here, these are the areas that are going to be under hard freeze watch, and temperatures will continue to drop. This will remain from tonight until Friday morning. So these freezing temperatures will kill crops, sensitive vegetation, and possible damage from outdoor plumbing. So just, take steps now to protect those plants and to prevent any damages. Our highs and lows: Logan, cold, 43 and 19. Provo, 58-24. Richfield, 69-22. St. George, 82-40. Our 5-day forecast for southern Utah: sunshine and clear skies throughout the rest of the week, highs in the 70s. And our 5-day forecast for northern Utah: we'll be experiencing some sunshine but cold temperatures. So make sure to bundle up and be ready for those temperatures that will drop.
And coming up next in sports, the Houston Rockets tweet is still making waves all the way over in China. And after, being an angry fan has never been this fun. That's coming up. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to have my seat?
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
After 2 different rain delays, the BYU women's golf team finds their way to 5th place after round 1 at the Islandfeld Invite in Washington. The course-high 13 birdies would aid the Cougars to their hopeful position as they continue to play throughout the week. With nothing but a tweet, one of the largest U.S. sports organizations is unraveling in the world's most populated country. After the post was erased by Houston Rockets GM, the Chinese fan base has seen a major decline. Since the initial actions were taken by Chinese networks and the CBA, even more ties have been cut with the association. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver reacted to the changes.
I regret that so many people are upset, including millions and millions of our fans.
Mr. Silver will continue trying to mend the relationship between the NBA and Chinese affiliates, but for now, it does not look too promising. In even more shocking news in the NBA, Ben Simmons made a three-pointer.
They want him to shoot it.
And he does.
The 2017 Rookie of the Year caused a crowd reaction as if it were a buzzer beater, although it wasn't. Simmons is sure to remember his first career points from deep. The J-Notes also begin to make the preseason rounds. Their first NBA matchup will feature the Greek Freak and a strong Milwaukee Bucks team. Giannis Antetokounmpo leads the Eastern Conference finalists to face Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and Joe Ingles in tonight's matchup. Have you ever been so mad you felt like smashing a plasma screen TV? This season, the beloved Philly-based hockey team have made the new addition in their stadium. With protective gear, Flyer fans will have the opportunity to take a hockey stick to TVs, decorations, and other objects in the room. The non-traditional concept of the goal relieving fan anger, hence the nickname, the Rage Room.
Third goal on the other side.
After the barehanded catch was made, the playmaker was identified as Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end O.J. Howard. No wonder he made the catch with ease. He didn't even have his helmet or his pads on. And that'll do it for sports. We'll be right back.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
The Cleveland Metro Park Zoo is celebrating 30 years of Boo at the Zoo by giving animals a special Halloween treat.
The elephants had a great time, smashing the pumpkin with their feet, then throwing pieces around with their trunks. They actually ate the treat, finishing it in less than 30 minutes. A new guest at Boo at the Zoo this year is a massive 9-foot-tall rhino made of hay bales. Kids can also trick or treat and enjoy train rides during the fall festival.
Thanks so much for joining us for Newsline today.
The major fair ends in just a few hours, so go online to the University of Iceman Center to see the booth layout and a map of the fair. Remember, there are going to be more than 100 majors represented here. It's the perfect opportunity to see when and how to choose a major. So,
thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Have a great day.